And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Tuesday, February 1st. We've got 1 month in the books. I am Josh Engleman, and I'm here to break down today's 7-game NBA slate. If you're here and you want to help out, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Great to see everybody this morning. Lots of good mornings, lots of coffee cups. That's what we love to see. So good morning to everybody that is here. Not the best night last night in DFS, but I'll take what I can get. It's fine. They're not always going to be amazing, and that's okay with me. Lots to talk about, though, here today. Like I said, 7 games. We've got a good week of slates. We're kicking off February, and I think maybe jumping into February will be a welcome change to getting rid of January. That's for sure. I know I want to get rid of January. It was a terrible month, but we're here now in February. Got a birthday coming up. Should be fun. Prize Picks, presenting sponsor of this show. Awesemo.com/prize picks -promo. You can get yourself 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. You can get yourself a little bit of a deposit bonus. We've got a free player props tool on Awesemo.com that will certainly help you out. So go check out Prize Picks. Link on the banner, top of the screen. Yeah, crazy day last night. Steph ended up getting there mostly because apparently Kevin Porter Jr. started talking a bunch of shit to him. That's always fun. Drummond went bananas. Tyrese Maxey, monster day. Desmond Bane was like the key necessary piece that no one really talked about. Isaiah Jackson, monster day. 47 FanDuel points in 29 and a half minutes. Can't actually beat that one at all. Would have liked a little bit more out of Tobias Harris, but he was still fine. Siakam was fine. I had a lot of Christian Wood. That was good, but I was light on Steph and Wiggins, and that did not help. I also did not expect Steph to play 38 minutes yesterday, yet he certainly did. So what are you going to do? Them's the breaks. Can't have it all. Can't have it all. Guys that I had the most of. So, highest exposed guy was Giddey. He was fine at 33.5 fantasy points, 5,700. No problem there. Would have liked a little bit more, but can't be mad. Van Vliet probably failed a little bit. Isaiah Jackson, utter success. Tobias Harris, utter success. Maxey and Drummond couldn't have been better. LeVert, just not ideal. Could have been worse, but wasn't great. Biggest problem plays for me, Tyler Hero, just terrible. Anthony Simons, terrible. Both guys sub 20 fantasy point days. Both guys 6,900. Didn't work out there. So that changed out my normal lineup construction. So those issues did not go well. But yeah, I know, Kevin, that wasn't the best for me. Wasn't the best. Alrighty, guys, let's dive into this now. I've got my coffee. I am incredibly excited to drink it. So cheers to you guys. If you're here, you got a coffee or a tea or a water or a beer or a hot dog, whatever it is. We're starting it off together. Cheers to you guys. Rise and grind. Let's do this today. Oh, it's always so good. So good. Pat J won $2,600 last night. That is awesome. Congratulations. Great to see. We're diving in, and the first piece that we have is a piece that we can't really talk about. New Orleans Pelicans, Brandon Ingram questionable. They played last night, so they have no injury report. I'm not going to change anything here. We got 31 minutes out of Joe Val. Willie Hernan-Gomez was the straight backup, and Jackson Hayes played 30 minutes last night. What was the final of that game? Legitimately don't know. All right, Pels lost by 3. Jackson Hayes was +2. All right, so we're gonna treat this like they're doing it again. So I'm gonna split the minutes at center. Although it does change a little bit when you go against the Cavs. I wonder if that was just because of the Cavs, and that's why Jackson Hayes started. So I didn't expect Jackson Hayes to play that many minutes. Levert and Van Vliet, at least on FanDuel, were basically the same play. B Swifty. You got to take into account the salary difference. Okay, so if Brandon Ingram really isn't going to play today, will they start Jackson Hayes at the 4 again? My first answer is no. I don't think that they will. I think that was because Evan Mobley starts. Which means I don't think that Jackson Hayes will play. I'm going to go, I don't think that Willie Hernan-Gomez will play. What it does mean, however, is that you need to give somebody playing time. Now, Gary Clark played 13 minutes yesterday, so at the very least, I'm going to give him 13 minutes. Still leaves me 7 minutes left over. And well, those minutes did not go to Nickeil Alexander-Walker yesterday, that's for sure. They showed that they would play them alongside each other yesterday. I just don't know if that's like a long-term goal. Maybe I'll give Willie Hernan-Gomez 7 minutes here, and they'll just play each other alongside each other a little bit. So that's New Orleans. We're leaving Ingram out for right now. We need to get more information since it's a back-to-back. So that's going to be New Orleans. Rates are all going to stay the same. On the Detroit side, I think Jeremy Grant's back. Am I crazy? No, Jeremy Grant off the injury report. Kelly Olynyk off the injury report. And that is going to make things really, really inconvenient here. So let's start with Jeremy Grant in for 30 minutes. We're going to say that when Olynyk came back, he played 20 minutes. So I'm going to assume that he's still just playing 20 minutes. We've been getting about 25 out of Isaiah Stewart. Make that 24. And then, maybe we're saying that it's Trey Lyles. Because they were playing alongside, they had no problem playing alongside each other. It's not a lot, but they did it from time to time. Although that wasn't in any recent affair. Does Trey Lyles just get excised from this rotation? That is the tricky question. Or does Trey Lyles start playing? Because they were playing 69 minutes together in those 2 games where Olynyk came back. Something in the 60s. I'm going to give Trey Lyles 14 minutes. And then I can give Sadiq Bey his 32. We can get Cade in for 32 as well. Doesn't feel right, but because he's been playing a lot more. You know what? I'm going to go higher than that on Cade. Whoa, how did I get... What did I do to put those symbols? Okay, there we go. I was going to say, what did I do to put those symbols there? All right, 8, 24 for Bay. We're going to bump up Cade to 33. Corey Joseph has been starting. We're going to give Corey Joseph 25 minutes. We're going to give Killian Hayes 23 minutes. And then we have 39 minutes left for potentially 2 people. In theory, that's Frank Jackson and Rodney Magruder. Seems like that's the most likely scenario to me. So we're going to go ahead and give Frank Jackson What, 22 minutes? And then 17 to Magruder. Oh, or Diallo. So we're gonna take Magruder done. And there's too many like-minded awful dudes on the Pistons. Either Trey Lyles continues to play at the 4 or Rodney Magruder continues to play. One of those two things are going to happen. But the biggest thing that's going to happen for the Pistons is that we need to change the rates because Jeremy Grant's back. I gotta sneeze. Got it again. No sneaky sneezes on this show. God, this entire team is just like a shade of yellow. No one is better than 1.08 fantasy points per minute. So let's go ahead and grab the rates now since Jeremy Grant is back. The average for Trey Lyles is 22. The average minutes, that's not helpful to me. Jeremy Grant's playing today. All right, so games where Jeremy Grant, Saddiq Bey, and Cade Cunningham all played. You know what? Yeah, that should be fine. That should be fine. Change the music. Okay, we'll switch to. I don't have a lot of choices. I don't know what Into Space is, but that's what we're changing it to. Let me know how this one goes. See, the problem here is that Kelly Olynyk has like barely played for this team. And that really complicates matters. But they have played 20 games with Grant and Bey and Cunningham. Now, Cunningham is going to be bad in this particular instance, but because Grant has been out for so long. Well, this is going to have to be what we do. So let's grab these rates. We'll hash it all out once we grab them. Oh yeah, Kelly Olynyk. Couldn't remember what I was trying to grab here. I really don't like this Pistons team, which is a shame because I really like Cade Cunningham. Maybe they'll get somebody good in the draft. They do have some picks. Anxious to see what they end up getting for Jeremy Grant, because that could really change things for them. If they can get, a young player and a pick, or maybe a young player and 2 picks for Grant, that'd be pretty big. All right, so Jeremy Grant, 27% usage and no other changes. Cade Cunningham in games where Saddiq Bey and Jeremy Grant have both played, 26.5% usage rate. Does see a decreased assist rate and somehow does see an increased rebounding rate. Bey decreased everything, evidently. And then the rest of these rates are all going to just be annoying. Isaiah Stewart basically doesn't touch the ball. Frank Jackson does very little as well. This whole team, man, this entire team doesn't do shit. Everybody has like no stats. 14.5% usage rate for Corey Joseph. Does see an assist rate bump, so I guess that's one thing that's positive. Amadou Diallo doesn't do much when he's out there. I mean, this is just a sea of guys that don't provide any additional help anybody else on the floor. It's really quite crazy. We're going to do all this work for the Pistons, and nothing's going to look good. It's really fun. So, first team up is the Pels, and again, we don't know what we're really doing here, because they're on the back-to-back, and we have no idea who they're going to actually play. So Joe Val, 7,400 on FanDuel. I think looks like a fantastic play right now. Josh Hart and Herb Jones. Like if Brandon Ingram is out again, I like Josh Hart and Herb Jones. Taking on the Pistons is a great spot. I don't think it's all that bad to get to Devontae Graham, and assuming they don't go to Jackson Hayes for 30 minutes again at the 4. I think Nickeil Alexander-Walker might actually play a bunch of minutes today because I think this game is different. So I've got my eye on him. But Joe Val is the clear best piece here on the Pelicans side. On the Pistons side, Cade Cunningham for me, 7,800 on FanDuel, 8,100 on DraftKings. I think you can get to a little bit of Sadiq Bey, and I probably don't want all that much Jeremy Grant. Jordan, good to have you here, man. Friend of the program. Fellow compatriot at Awesemo.com. Game number 1 down. Game number 2 not going to look good, but there might be some value here. Washington, 11.5-point dogs in Milwaukee. 223 total, and we know that we're going to be without Bradley Beal, which means we need to start everything from scratch for Washington. Beal going to be out for at least 2 games. So let's go ahead and figure out what this team does when Bradley Beal does not play. And luckily, we can start searching for those rates in an easy way. So Bradley Beal at this point has missed how many games? He's missed 9 games. That is a pretty sizable sample. So let's do the rotations first and figure out if that sample works or if we just want to go with Bradley Beal off. So we'll start with Dinwiddie, who tends to play a little bit more when Bradley Beal doesn't play. Let's, just for sake of argument, because I don't remember if they missed any time together, but I want to make sure. I want to see how many minutes per game Dinwiddie is playing when Bradley Beal doesn't play. Because I think his minutes go up slightly. 312 in 9 minutes, or 9 games. Yeah, so Spencer Dinwiddie is averaging 34.5 minutes a game in games where Bradley Beal doesn't play. So at the very least, I got to give him 32. I honestly feel like it should probably be 33, but they are 11-point underdogs. I don't want to get too much Dinwiddie, but we'll see. So if that's the case, then I think that we're going to get Howell Neto as the backup point guard. I know that Gafford was out of the rotation the most recent time. I think that might be so that they could showcase Thomas Bryant. Don't know if that's true or not, but we'll find out. So I'm going to say that Gafford is once again out of the rotation. We're going to say that Thomas Bryant plays 20 minutes. We're going to say that Montrezl Harrell plays 20 minutes. Rui Hachimura plays about 18 minutes. Then we can go to some playing time for not Davis Bertans, who's out of the rotation, which is very interesting. Kyle Kuzma plays about 33 minutes a game in a competitive matchup. He has played 305 and 9. Yeah, that works. 33 minutes works there. I guess Denny is the guy that's going to soak up the rest of this playing time. We're going to call it something in the neighborhood of 24, 25. With 25 to Denny. KCP is obviously just going to get like his standard issue 28 minutes. He doesn't really bounce around too much. So the only guys that we're missing right now from the rotation would be Corey Kispert, who I think is going to play like a pretty sizable chunk. And we've got 20 minutes left over. So who is going to step into the real additional playing time? It could be Neto. It could be Aaron Holiday. It could be Bertans at the 4 and bumping everybody down a peg. Because they have been, for all intents and purposes, a 10-man rotation. But they have more bodies than that, which is unhelpful. I might go 10 and 10 Holiday Bertans. I don't think it matters. I think that'll shake out well enough. Okay, so Spencer Dinwiddie has a 27% usage rate when Bradley Beal doesn't play in a game. What is it when Bradley Beal is just off the floor? Because if it's the same, then I'm going to go with the off sample. All right, it was 27% when it's off sample. It's 26. So it is slightly different. I'm going to go with off just because it's going to open up a bigger sample for everybody else. So let's go with... I don't think I really want to make any other changes. We'll say that Kuzma and Beal were both, or Kuzma and Dinwiddie were both in. That'll be the only one we're dealing with. Let's actually bump. We'll go 9 and 6 here. All right, let's grab these rates. I am moving slow today, folks. Very, 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 very slow. I don't know why either. Like, I got a pretty good night's sleep. Just, I don't know, something about this slate. I feel like I'm on a back-to-back, which like every day feels like a back-to-back, but this one just feels like a back-to-back. I feel like I'm on a road back-to-back today. Yesterday was a long day. Doing this show and then doing live before lock just creates a long day. I'm just happy I didn't have to be up till 10. All right, here we go. Grab the rates. We'll start with Dinwiddie. 26% usage rate when Bradley Beal is not available, and a gigantic assist rate bump. I mean, we're talking about a very, very different player here. Next up, in terms of minutes, is Denny. Doesn't really do all that much differently, but actually does look like a decent play, so keep your eyes peeled there. Corey Kispert also obviously plays a lot more minutes when Beal's not there. I don't think anybody's surprised by that. Yeah, Houston to Atlanta, exactly. Now, I feel like it's like Seattle and Miami. All right, Kuzma, Beal off, 26.7% usage rate. So he also gets a big-time bump and becomes a bit of a rebounder. Trez locks in some increased usage. I'm going to say that Thomas Bryant at least just stays himself. Rui, I'm going to say, stays himself. KCP does a little bit more. That's Washington. I'm guessing Milwaukee is easy here. I can't picture them having any sort of injury issues. It's like a second Nightbot right now. All right, no George Hill, no Brook Lopez, so we can get George Hill out of there pretty easily. This will all kind of just fix itself. And we got DiVincenzo in for 22 minutes. Yeah, that's fine. 33 for Drew. Fine. 34 for Giannis. 34 for Middleton. Sure. 31 for Portis. Sure. If it's competitive. So we just kind of need to give a little bit of extra time somewhere. It's not Connaughton. Wes Matthews can certainly soak up an extra 2 minutes. And I guess I'm probably just either giving this to Jordan Nwora or Rodney Hood. Like, somebody's just going to play 19 minutes today. seems like it's more likely to be Wara, but I'm actually going to split it. We're going to go 9 and 10. No rate changes for Milwaukee. These are just what they're supposed to be. So let's look at game number 2. Washington Wizards. Again, monster dogs. Kuzma looking good. 7,200 on FanDuel, 7,400 on DraftKings. But Dinwiddie, the clear star with Beal out. 6,300 on FanDuel, 5,900 on DraftKings. That's where we're going. We are going to Spencer Dinwiddie today. Likely going to be one of the best plays of the slate. On to game number 3. This one not going to be easy to talk about. Miami and Toronto, both teams on a back-to-back. I would appreciate it if this one wasn't on the schedule. We don't know the status of Kyle Lowry. Jimmy Butler didn't play yesterday. PJ Tucker didn't play yesterday. I don't know what to do with that. Do they play today? I have no idea. This is a game we cannot talk about. I'm guessing Butler and Tucker both play. And I don't think that Kyle Lowry will. Look, if Kyle Lowry's been gone for 7 days, he's not with the team. I'm guessing, at which point he's not showing up in Toronto today. What about Milwaukee? Yeah, Giannis is Giannis. Drew Holiday looks okay. Portis looks pretty good at 6K. I probably gave Portis too many minutes. I don't know. Milwaukee's just not a team that we need to talk about. They're not that kind of team. You either play one of their actual stars or you play no one. All right, I'm putting Jimmy Butler back in. I'm putting PJ Tucker back in. And then we're assuming that Kyle Lowry does not play. This is not a fun game to project. This is what makes these shows go way longer. So we're at 7 o'clock right now. We're in game 3. 146 viewers, 54 likes. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't hit it yet. I'm going to try to wake up now. Let's chug some coffee. Maybe not chug, but let's sip it aggressively. Ryan, they're already with the team. They're not going to fly to Boston, not play, and then fly back to Miami instead of going to Toronto. If this game were still in Tampa, it might be a little bit different. Alrighty, so we're going to start with Gabe Vincent. I think that's the first guy we need to take a look at here. So let's get Gabe Vincent in for about 30 minutes, I guess. We'll say Hero backs him up and plays 33. Let's get Jimmy Butler in for his 34. Get Bam in for his 34. Dedmon backing him up. Tucker gets 30. And that's when it starts to thin out, I guess. Well, we get Duncan Robinson, 25 minutes. And that's when it starts to thin out. So we have 40 minutes to split between Max Strus and Caleb Martin. And in general, I'm kind of cool with just giving them both 20 apiece. 20 for Strus. 20 for Martin. I'm going to go 21 Strus. 19 Caleb Martin. Let's grab very quick Miami rates, because this is basically just games where Kyle Lowry doesn't play. So Kyle Lowry off. Butler, Bam. Butler, Bam, Hero, all played in the game. I know it's a small sample, but it's the best sample we could hope for right now. It's at least a few games worth. I mean, Bam has only been back for 8 games. Only 3 overlap with Hero and Butler. We'll take it. So let's grab those rates. This one kind of plans itself, so it's not like we're playing the down the line guys of the Miami Heat on a day like today, if everybody's in. Just another one of those things to keep an eye on. We're probably going to have to knock down Toronto's minutes slightly, but we'll talk through that in a second. All right, so there's the rates. We've got Bam. Yeah, I fail to believe that Bam's usage rate will go down in this scenario. Jimmy Butler's goes up slightly. Tyler Hero's goes up slightly. Hero, no other real change to rates, although he does pull more boards, which has been interesting. Jimmy Butler doesn't really have a change to any of his rates. Like I said, Bam is pretty stationary. He does rebound a little bit more, too. Everybody else probably isn't going to matter. PJ Tucker, 10.7% usage rate. Max Strus, 14.6, which feels a little low. You got the 16. Abe Vincent just kind of holds his usage rate. Duncan Robinson just kind of holds it. Caleb Martin doesn't do much else either. We're not surprised. We know what we're doing with Miami. And we know what we're doing with Toronto. And that's likely playing a lot of these guys. For Toronto, you got 40 minutes out of the starters. OG and Scotty Barnes played a little bit less. Okie doke. I'm running back basically the exact same rotation that I had yesterday. I'm going to take Boucher down to 22 minutes. We're going to take Precious down to 19. And now I'll also give 3 minutes to Justin Champagnie. That's Toronto, though. No way am I making a change there. So as we look at Miami, 2-point dogs in Toronto, 211 total. It's Butler, it's Bam, and it's Hero. If we get Butler and PJ Tucker back in, then I don't think that there's much else that we really want to say. I think that's just the way that we go. So if they're out, we know who to bump. It's the same situation as yesterday, but Hero's probably my favorite guy across both sites. Bam would be second. Butler would be third. On the Toronto end, I'm going to have an absolute ton, once again, of Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet. Gary Trent is 5,800 on DraftKings. That's an exceptional price. He would be the third best option from Toronto. I think Scotty Barnes is solid, and I just think that OG Anunoby is mildly overpriced on FanDuel, that is. On DraftKings, where he's shooting guard, small forward, 7,500, yeah. You got to just play all of the starting 5 of Toronto. On to Vooch revenge narrative alert. Orlando Magic, 10.5-point underdogs in Chicago. What do we know for Orlando? Right out of the gate, I feel like we don't have to make any changes, but let's find out. Same guys that are normally out are out, which means that we just have to tweak rotation slightly. Cole Anthony in for 32 minutes. Okay. Chuma Okeke in for 23 minutes. Okay. I got 30 for Wendell Carter Jr. Sure thing. 25 for Mo Bamba. That works for me. Mo Wagner, 12. Franz Wagner, 33. I got another sneeze coming too, potentially. Suggs, Harris. Yeah, I think we got this. Orlando rotation stays the same, and unfortunately, they look good. Now we go to Chicago. And for the Bulls, Javonte Green is probable. No Ball, no Caruso, no Derek Jones. So same as what we've been seeing for the Bulls. Which means we get Kobe White in for about 30 minutes. We got Zach LaVine in for 35. Matt Thomas still playing. Tony Bradley backup center to Vooch. 35 for DeRozan, 36 for Dosunmu. I need to give... There we go. Gotta get McKinney out of there. For Brown, 22 minutes. Close enough. All right, we got Chicago set. Rates are already in. So that game went as quickly as it possibly could. Normal rotation for Orlando and Chicago today. For Orlando, it's Cole Anthony for me. 7K on FanDuel, 6,500 on DraftKings. I think Wendell Carter Jr. and Mo Bamba are the next two best options, but Carter having power forward as well as center just makes Mo Bamba an infinitely better play. Also makes Bamba like an interesting pivot if Carter happens to get any ownership. I think Suggs looks okay, but Cole Anthony is the clear best piece here from Orlando. And then on the Chicago side, Zach LaVine, 8K on FanDuel, 8,800 on DraftKings. Price is slowly going up, but he looks great. Vooch in the revenge game, 8,700 on FanDuel, 9,300 on DraftKings. Looks good. I mean, what you're really doing is you play DeRozan, LaVine, and Vooch because they're good, and then that's it. Like maybe you can play Dosunmu as a minutes play, but when he's already in the mid fives, that's good. That gets tricky. And I guess 5K Kobe White on FanDuel deserves a little bit of a shout. $161 viewers, 72 likes. We are slowly climbing. 3 games to go. Denver Nuggets, 2.5-point underdogs in Minnesota. What do we know right now for the Nugs other than Nikola Jokic is incredible? Nikola Jokic is questionable with right toe soreness tonight. Would not be awesome if he didn't play, but boy, oh boy, would that open up all sorts of additional value on Denver if they get their main man off the floor. Jokic, first game of the back-to-back. I mean, I don't ever expect Jokic to sit, so he's certainly in until he's not. Which means we need to just project out this team. I didn't have Will Barton in the last time. So what I want to do is take out basically everything here, except for it doesn't really matter if it's Boogie or JaMychal Green. That's backup center run. We get Jeff Green in at the 4 with Zeke Naji as the backup there. Aaron Gordon plays a little bit at the 4 as well. We got him in for 32 minutes. Monty Morrison for 31. Now, Campazzo is basically left the rotation. That is something to keep an eye on, which makes me assume that we're going to say that Austin Rivers is basically the backup point guard. That lets me get Bryn Forbes in for 20 minutes. We get Bones Highland in for 18 minutes. Devon Reed, not the guy that we're really looking for here. So who am I missing? I got 31. Oh, yeah, Will Barton. Duh. Let's give Will Barton his minutes. So Will Barton steps into his 33. All right, now there we go. We can go 18 Bones Highland, 18 Bryn Forbes. That is our rotation for the Denver Nuggets. And I don't really think we need to change anything. I think everything that's in there right now can just stay. So that is Denver. Let's look at Minnesota. On the Minnesota side, did we get Patrick Beverley back yet? I think I saw that he was questionable today. Yeah, questionable on Beverley, questionable on Russell. So the same sort of hoops that we've been jumping through for weeks now. Russell has missed the last two. Beverley has missed basically 6 straight, but for all intents and purposes, 5. So we need to move this rotation around a bunch. We take Noel's minutes out, McLaughlin's minutes out, Okoji's minutes out, Taurean Prince's minutes out. We get Towns in. We get Naz Reid. Naz Reid being the straight backup to Towns for 3 straight games. So let's do that. We get Jared Vanderbilt in for 28 minutes. We get Jaden McDaniels in for 24 for right now. 34 for Edwards seems great. Malik Beasley's minutes definitely need to go down. Now we've got maybe 10 for Taurean Prince, if that breaks correctly. We bring Beverley back in for 26. We say that Jalen Noel gets the other 22. And we'll give him 20. Might be a problem. And then D'Angelo Russell comes back into 30 minutes. That seems about right to me. Or maybe we knock Beasley back because they seem to hate him. But I think that's fine. Now, Russell's going to play 32 if he's in. Something like that. And these are rates without D'Angelo Russell, so we do need to grab more rates for Minnesota, unfortunately. Thomas J., what's going on? Good to have you here. Guys, I cannot wake up. I really can't. I feel like I'm a robot today. I just can't. I don't have the pep in my step for some reason. All right, Towns played, Russell played, Anthony Edwards played. I think that is just sort of the best way that we can talk about this team. Whoever else is in just helps. But in games when they're big 3 play, I don't think it matters who else is on the floor. So strategy show for me today, guys. Obviously with Adam. And then the more fun thing is that Adam and I will be back for the deeper dive as well. So we're doubling up on shows today, Adam and I. All right, there we go. Where is... Okay, there's Patrick Beverley's name. It's like, where the hell is Patrick Beverley in this equation? Now I got him. I mean, these guys have played a lot of time together. They've been oddly healthy. All right, assists. And rebounds. Let's see what we got here. All right, rates for Minnesota. Shout out the homie ship. Yeah. All right, Edwards. Massive playing time now when all 3 guys are active. We're going to go 27.2% usage to Edwards. Everything else stays the same. Russell, 25.9. No real changes. And these guys should be stable. Given the amount of minutes they played, this should just stabilize around like their normal stats. Towns is actually down in most of these categories, which is interesting to see. He's really soft. Bev doesn't do all that much. Malik Beasley doesn't do all that much when these guys are healthy. Jalen Noel somehow has played less than Josh Okoji when all those guys are healthy. I don't know how that's possible. What is Jalen Noel's usage rate when those guys are active? How is he not one of the 10 guys that have played the most? That's rebounds, scoring, Noel, 21% usage rate. Okay. Vanderbilt at 10.8. Jaden McDaniels is at 14.7. That will do it for Minnesota. So that game is now in the books as well. As we look at it. Oh, again, you guys got to remind me to bump up this view, make it a little bit bigger. I forget that I don't use it like that normally. On Denver, obviously Nikola Jokic looked great today. A matchup against Minnesota is a dream. So if Jokic is active, 11-3 on FanDuel, 12-5 on DraftKings, definitely my favorite play from Denver. Will Barton looks okay. Aaron Gordon, Monty Morris, fine. More on DraftKings than FanDuel. On the Minnesota end, Jokic is just on a completely different planet than Towns. If you're playing anybody here, $8,500 shooting guard, small forward, Anthony Edwards on DraftKings. Honestly, if D'Angelo Russell plays, $7,200 on FanDuel, I think that's a really good price tag for him today. I don't even mind $7,800. I like Edwards, Russell, and Vanderbilt today. Vanderbilt on DK, $5,300. You get power forward and center. There's a lot to like for Minnesota. Denver's been playing a little bit faster as of late. They were dead last in pace. They're up to 22nd now. Minnesota plays at the third fastest pace, so it's a decent spot. 2 games to go, guys. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. Golden State on the back-to-back. 2.5-point favorites in San Antonio. And what do we know about Golden State for today? Probably nothing, right? We know Clay's not playing. Still no Draymond, no Iggy or Wiseman. I guess we get Otto Porter here in, and he basically just becomes the Clay replacement. So let's shake this out. I don't know if Bielitsa plays in this one either, because he's hurt. He missed Saturday's game and the front end. I don't think I'm going to put Bielitsa in, but let's read his blurb. Missed 2 straight. It's a back injury. Yeah, they're not holding him out to play the second half of a back-to-back with a back injury. That seems implausible. Okay, so yeah, I feel pretty comfortable here with the rest of this. We got Moses Moody starting and playing 24 minutes. Kuminga played 10. That went well for me. So I'm going to say that we get Moody playing. I don't think that he plays 24 minutes again, but I'm going to treat this the same way that they treated it yesterday. I'm going to give Moody about 20 minutes. I've got Looney in for 27. I've got Juan Toscano-Anderson in for 19. I'm happy with both of those things. I'm going to say that Jonathan Kuminga plays about 12 minutes. We're going to give Jordan Poole. In the games where Clay hasn't played, so we get Poole. In the last 6 games that Klay Thompson hasn't played, Jordan Poole has averaged about 30 minutes, which means we're going to 30 minutes on Jordan Poole. Now, we also need to get a bunch of minutes to Otto Porter, which should be pretty easy to do. I'm going to take everybody else out of this quickly. So I guess we're going to get a lot of Wiggins at the 4. I'm going to pop Wiggins in there for 34 minutes. Where the hell is my other window? Are they both on the right-hand side? They certainly are. All right, that's 1. So you go left. You go right. 34 minutes for Wiggins. I think that's fine. That allows me to then get to, 26 minutes for Otto Porter. And that leaves me 37 minutes for Gary Payton and Damian Lee. Yes. That's what I'm missing. Because I'm assuming the Nemanja Bjelica isn't playing. So we'll go Damian Lee gets... I mean, they're basically going to play the same amount, but Peyton's going to play a little bit more. So let's do 17. No, that's not right. We'll do 19 for Gary Payton. 18 for Damian Lee. I don't totally trust that, but it won't matter. We won't get Lee. I guess we want to look at rates because I think Clay sort of affects this. And honestly, what else do we have to do today? We only have one game left after this. Let's get it right. So we're going to say that Klay Thompson did not play in the game. Let's just do Klay off, Draymond off. And then we'll say that Steph and Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole all did play. That'll help. This is when I should be drinking my coffee, when this is loading. Oh, I'm creaky. So creaky. All right, there we go. That's a decent sample. Let's hook this team up. Let's get the correct Golden State rates because it is a 7-game slate. Like, this does matter, unfortunately. Go all the way down to Moses Moody because this team is a pain in the ass. I assume nothing really changes because this entire team is like the same guy over and over again. And I'm sure Kuminga is going to start today over Moody because why wouldn't they just jerk their rotation around a lot today? So keep your eyes peeled for that one too. All right, rates. For Golden State, Steph, 33.4% usage rate. Big time usage or assist bump too, so that's good to see. Otto Porter's played the second most amount of minutes here. No real changes to anything he does, except for some more rebounds. Jordan Poole, 26.7% usage rate. So does see the usage bump, does see the assist rate bump as well. It's looking like it's Jordan Poole season. Andrew Wiggins has oddly played less than you expect here, which makes me feel like I have the wrong filter. Klay and Draymond off. Wiggins, Poole, Curry all played. No, I have it correct. Wiggins, 23.6% usage rate. Doesn't really do anything different. We need to calm down Gary Payton a skosh. JTA is pretty normal. Looney, we definitely want to get correct. 11.2% usage. Actually gets some additional assists and rebounds. And then finally we get Moses Moody doing basically nothing here across the board. Yeah, Danny Green, I don't know if that's true, buddy. Don't know if that's true. All right, that's Golden State. We'll go to San Antonio now. For the Spurs, they've actually been relatively easy as of late. I don't know if that's going to be the case today. We've got everybody available. So I think this is just standard issue Spurs rotation. Murray in, White in, Vassell in, McDermott in, Hurdle, Landale, whatever. Keldon Johnson, Lonnie Walker, Trey Jones. I don't have anything to change here. Other than just not knowing who they're going to play at backup center. Tends to bounce around a little bit. They go from Eubanks to Landale to Eubanks to Landale. I'm just going to split it between the two of them because I have no idea what else to do. Unfortunately, I don't know who else to give those extra 2 minutes to. So welcome back, Keita Bates Diop, maybe? I don't know who's going to cough up the minutes, but I'm happy with the Spurs rotation already. So for Golden State, now this one's big. Assuming that Clay sits on the back and Porter comes back up for the front end of the back-to-back or vice versa, assuming we still don't have Nemanja Bjelica, I think Steph looks really good. 9,300 on FanDuel, 10-2 on DraftKings. But Jordan Poole is the key piece here. If he continues to play 30 minutes a game in games without Clay and Draymond, Jordan Poole is the best play coming out of Golden State. And then for San Antonio, DeJounte Murray looks good. 10-2 on FanDuel, 10-1 on DraftKings. The ownership difference between him and Curry will be really interesting for the rest of the day. I'd say Derek White is your second best option. 6,100 on DraftKings is your best price tag there. I will go to Keldon Johnson and likely get him wrong like I do every other day. Otherwise, Jakob Poeltl, 7,200 on DK is okay, but there's no shortage of centers. Devin Vassell is all right if I'm right about his minutes. Possible that I'm not. Close it out. Brooklyn Nets, 7-point dogs in Phoenix. I have no idea who's able to play here for the Brooklyn Nets, but I think that it might just be Kyrie. Is that right? Q tag on Harden. Okay, so Harden may be playing. No Durant, no Harris, no Aldridge. Do we actually think that James Harden is going to play today? He did practice Monday. Missed his last two. So if he practiced yesterday, I'm going to say that he's playing today. It is the front end of a back-to-back. So maybe they sit him. Who does Brooklyn play tomorrow? Play the Kings tomorrow. Well, you would rather have James Harden play today and sit the other end of the back-to-back than play against the Kings. So I'm going to assume that James Harden plays and Kyrie Irving is obviously playing. So we're going to say Kyrie Irving is in for 36 minutes. Actually, Patty Mills. All right, Harden played all of those games. Patty Mills averaged 33 minutes. So we're going to go 32 minutes for Patty Mills. We're going to go 36 minutes to Kyrie Irving. We're going to go 36 minutes to James Harden. And now the rest of this should be pretty easy. So we lose Aldridge. I guess we're going to get Claxton for... Oh, God. Claxton's minutes can be anything right now. They have so many bigs. I can't expect Claxton to just fall into all of the minutes. I mean, we're talking about a guy that hasn't played 30 minutes in a calendar month. Kessler Edwards just plays 33 minutes a night. So let's go ahead and just pop that in right away. I don't think that I want to give Nick Claxton just staggering amounts of center minutes. I mean, I don't see it. I'm going to give him 20. Yeah, Lorenzo, in this case, I don't think that matters at all. Well, I think Day'Ron Sharpe is going to start playing again now that Aldridge is out. So let's get Day'Ron Sharpe, I don't know, 14 minutes. And then maybe Blake plays 14 minutes. James Johnson plays like 24 minutes. I think we got to get Bembry before we get Bruce Brown. So we got 31 minutes left for these guys. I'm going to say Bembry gets 18, Bruce Brown gets 13. Do I have the correct rates? I obviously do not. So let's see what kind of sample we've got where James Harden and Kyrie played and Kevin Durant was not on the floor. Can't imagine that's the biggest sample in the world. It's probably big enough. 170 minutes for Harden, 154 for Irving, 150 for Mills, and 145 for Edwards. That right there is what I'd like to call good enough. At the very least, it's going to allow us to project the guys that we actually want to play. I could go back to last year's sample as well. I don't think it's going to matter all that much. And I think that Patty Mills kind of tweaks that a little bit. But this team is just a walking small sample size. Alrighty, first up, Harden. He's played 170 minutes with Durant off, Kyrie available. 29% usage rate. 14.9% assist rate. Crazy. Kyrie, 29% usage rate. Slight assist rate bump. Obviously doesn't do anything else different. Patty Mills sees a giant assist rate hit. That shouldn't surprise anybody. Somehow gets more rebounds. Makes no sense. And then the rest of these guys, I assume, just fall into place. Like Aldridge pulls usage, which in theory lets me think that someone else could. You know who doesn't pull usage in these cases, though? Kessler Edwards. I definitely need to bring him down quite a bit. Is a shame. The lack of Aldridge is interesting. B Swifty, no, I do not find this counterproductive. Nobody has ever got by in life by doing too much work. Like, I got to do this one way or the other to start my day. I just happened to turn the camera on. So no, I don't find this counterproductive. I guess Day'Ron Sharp is the guy that gets like a big time usage bump, but he's already got it. Blake's, I can bump up Blake a little bit. That brings everybody else in line a little bit more than I would have expected. James Johnson, DeAndre Bembry. Yeah, I guess we're going to go with it here. It's making Nick Claxton look better than he probably is, but there's actually usage to go around for this Brooklyn team. Let's close it out with Phoenix. I don't know who's back for Phoenix yet. So nobody. No Crowder, no Ayton, no Payne, no Shamet, no Kaminsky. So we got to get Shamet out of there. But we should be pretty familiar with this Phoenix team at this point. Poppy, glad to have you here. So we got Biyombo in for 31 minutes. That does not appear to be the case any longer. Been playing a little bit less than that. We're going to take it down to 29. We had Biyombo play 22 minutes here. Jalen Smith didn't play. Oh, JaVale is back. Got it. That makes more sense. I mean, we're going 29-19 then. That just has to be the case. But even still, they just went small their last time out, which I guess they could do. I don't expect it. Bridges has been averaging 40 minutes, so we're definitely taking him up to 38. Ish Wainwright, I don't give a shit about his minutes. Cam Johnson, I already have in for 36. I've got Chris Paul in for 36. I've got Devin Booker in for 37. Elfrid Payton's falling into minutes. So I have 18 free minutes coming out of the lack of Landry Shamet, which means, all right, I don't know what the shit a Paris Bass is, but I think Paris Bass might play. Has Paris Bass played? Not recently. I might have to just throw these minutes on like a fake person. There's no way I have Paris Bass in my model. I am not familiar with that name. Just to double check. Yeah, no Paris Bass. Who do I add to the rotation right now just to make life easier? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go random minutes to two separate people that I know don't affect anything. Yeah, exactly, Cantor. Exactly. All right, so we don't have anything else to change here for Phoenix. That puts a pin in that final game. So we've got Brooklyn. James Harden is 10-5 on FanDuel, 11K on DraftKings. He is the preferred option coming out of the Nets. Not that there's anything wrong with Kyrie, but he's definitely a lesser play to me. And then Kessler Edwards, 3,900 on FanDuel. Even at a 0.66 fantasy point per minute rate, I think Kessler Edwards might be one of the better value options you'll get today. On Phoenix, yeah, I already have Ish Wainwright in, Matt. Somebody else has to play. They're removing a guy from a rotation, and Ish Wainwright's already in it. They don't have any other bodies. They only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They only have 10 active bodies. If we think that they all play, then Paris Bass at shooting guard will step likely into the shooting guard role of one Landry Shamet. All right. Devin Booker, 9K on FanDuel, 9,500 on DraftKings. D-Book is my preferred option here against Brooklyn. I will happily get to Bridges, Paul, Johnson, and Biyombo, though. Let's run some crunches. Here are my crunches from yesterday. They didn't work. All right, here we go. FanDuel Optimal. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. We have 200 people and 108 likes. The best show in the business with the best viewers in the business. I love this group of people. Now let's run a FanDuel crunch and let's find out what the optimal is. And if we're being honest, this one feels up in the air today. I didn't get a good feel for this slate as we broke it down. Optimal lineup on FanDuel is Spencer Dinwiddie, Jordan Poole, Devin Booker, Tyler Hero, Giannis, Kessler Edwards, Bobby Portis, Kevon Looney, Joval. That doesn't surprise me all that much. I actually like what we see there. If we open it up to power rankings, which is step number 2, we have... This is actually, at least on FanDuel, this is going to look a lot more normal to me. I didn't think that it was going to be as intuitive as it is right now. My watch charged? Certainly is. There we go. Wow, 34 degrees out right now. Yikes. All right, power rankings on FanDuel. Spencer Dinwiddie, Joval, Jordan Poole. All three guys are north of 20%. Dinwiddie's on his own tier. Valanciunas and Poole are next. And then we get a big jumbled up mess of Drew Holiday, Devin Booker, Kessler Edwards, Steph Curry, Giannis, Portis, Kuzma, Cam Johnson, Will Barton, Kobe White, Jokic, Van Vliet, Russell, Siakam, Herb Jones. All those guys are basically the exact same play, which is kind of crazy and really not helpful. Let's go to DraftKings now. For those of you looking for a DK optimal, congratulations, you're in luck. That's what we're doing. AJ, I feel the same way, man. I feel like I'm playing out the same day 2 days in a row. All right. Optimal lineup for DraftKings. Spencer Dinwiddie, Jordan Poole, Denny Avdia, Jared Vanderbilt, Joval, Booker, Cam Johnson, and Bobby Portis. Again, like, nothing there is all that outlandish to me. I think we just have a lot of plays today that look really similar relative to salary. And it's going to complicate matters a little bit. Looks like Toronto is going to be a little bit more interesting on the DK side than they are on the FanDuel side. Dinwiddie looking like the clear number one play across FanDuel and DraftKings. I'm sure people will love that. Has not been good as of late. All right, power rankings on DraftKings. Spencer Dinwiddie is going to be in the number 1 spot. I guess I could say that we get like a little bit of a separation here of Booker, Jordan Poole, Cole Anthony, and Van Vliet. And then Siakam and Cam Johnson are the only other guys above 15%. Very, very flat exposures on the DK side for today. Let's finish it off with a little bit of Yahoo. Optimal lineup on Yahoo for today. You'll get contenders for all 3 for today, and new breakfast menu golf betting video with Ben Raza will be out today. Last week, this guy hit the Luke list outright, so make sure you're tailing me for that one. Yahoo Optimal: Spencer Dinwiddie, Jordan Poole, Devin Booker, Andrew Wiggins, Scotty Barnes, Otto Porter, if he's playing, Joe Val, and then Bobby Portis. Again, nothing crazy there. Don't know if I want Poole, Wiggins, Porter, but like it's a matchup against San Antonio. Yeah, Crispy, I don't think you want to play Andre Drummond today. Power rankings closes it out. Alrighty, what do we got here? Well, Spencer Dinwiddie for $23 on Yahoo is looking like it's a firm number 1 spot for today. Maybe Joe Val crests that 20% mark too. We've got Poole knocking on the door here as well. It's going to be close. But Dinwiddie is across the board. All 3 sites, FanDuel, DraftKings, and Yahoo, number 1 play today. Joe Val crests the 20% mark, 21%. Jordan Poole's at 20%. And then we get Bridges, Portis, Aaron Gordon, Van Vliet, Kessler Edwards, and Jared Vanderbilt rounding out the rest of the guys above 15%. But we done here, folks. We done. That is it. Another process show in the books. Shout out to Prize Picks for being the presenting sponsor. We're all set here, guys. Zach, you would love a trade deadline show for the NBA. You are absolutely getting that, which reminds me I should send a message about getting that booked. I've done it for at least 3 straight years. Don't plan on stopping now. So definitely doing a trade deadline show. There's no way around it. I think I went live for like 2 hours last year. It was a blast. I am 100% doing that again. So don't miss out on that. I don't know if I'll have anybody on with me or not. Whether I do or I don't, it's happening. So thanks for being here, guys. Prize Picks is the banner. Awesemo.com/prizepicks-promo. This was fun. Back again tomorrow. Doing it again. 6:30 a.m. Eastern time. This is the process. Adios, everybody.